Hello everyone and welcome back to the Colorado Rockies franchise. In the last episode, we went through the draft and the All-Star break. And if you didn't see it, we got the generational Barry Cohen with our third overall pick. He looks like he could start at the MLB level day one. Whether or not we do that is still up in the air. I haven't fully decided, but it sort of feels like a waste of his potential if we don't. We got a few other guys that are looking good. None of them can really start at the MLB level other than maybe Taylor Bowers. He's a 70 overall closing pitcher that will be turned into just a regular reliever. He has 39 control right now, which is what concerns me a little bit. I'd probably want to get that up a bit before we bring him up to the majors. He'll probably start next season at AA, but still an absolutely killer pick. And now we are officially into the month of August. It's the last 2 months of the regular season, and the team is bad. We are 34-76. We ultimately decided not to trade Brendan Rodgers at the trade deadline because I couldn't really get anything I was really looking for. And some of our players are struggling big time at the MLB level. Specifically, our two left fielders, Sam Hilliard and Sean Bouchard, are both batting less than 200 and have really been struggling. Bouchard is improving in some ways, but getting a lot worse against righties, which was really his big strength before. He's still got high discipline, so his OBP is 265, which isn't that bad, but I think obviously you want an OBP over 300. Brenton Doyle hasn't been very good, but that's kind of expected from him. His bat is bad, and it's just something we're working on. He's an incredible fielder, so he needs to be out there. Plus, when he does get on base, he steals bases. Eleris Montero has not been very good as our pretty much everyday first baseman since trading Chris Bryant. Does have a 265 OBP, has a good chunk of home runs with 8, but man, the 218 average is just not good. Brendan Rodgers is where things start to look a little bit better. I would prefer if he were playing, a bit better than he is, a 238 average, 303 OBP though, so he does have over 300 OBP, only slugging a 300, and his OPS is 634. Sterling Thompson has been relatively good, actually, considering that he is pretty much our worst everyday player in terms of overall, but he's been playing admirably for sure. Scott Schreiber has been decent as the backup first baseman. He is batting a 250 with a 311 OBP. I think that even though he's on a bit of a cold streak, we should probably have him start being the everyday first baseman instead of Eleris Montero. Elias Diaz has been okay, pretty good OBP, 398 slugging, 718 OPS. He's starting to regress though. He is 33, so you kind of expect those numbers to fall. Alan Trejo has been surprisingly pretty good despite the fact that he is regressing a bit as well. He has D potential, so it's not even the fact that he's old necessarily because he's only 27. It's just that his potential is so low that he's pretty much capped at like 64. Ezekiel Tovar is having an exceptional year for his standards, definitely the best year of his career, just continues to get better and better. He's already at 13 home runs, had a career high of 15 obviously last season in what was essentially his rookie season, looking to probably surpass that this year, which is really great to see. He's been red hot recently, batting a 276, a 311 OBP. I would love for that to be a bit higher with the fact that his average is decently high. He's clearly not drawing a ton of walks. Does have a 431 slugging and a 742 OPS. A really good year for Ezekiel Tovar, and his attributes are showing that. His speed, stealing, and base running aggressiveness have gone down a bit, but his fielding is climbing and his batting is climbing. +5 power against righties, -2 against lefties though, so clearly not mashing lefties like he's used to. I would love to get that plate discipline up more and more. Currently it's at 36. I'd like it more, around 50 at least. Charlie Blackmon is batting a 279 with a 335 OBP, so getting on base a lot as our leadoff guy, which is really all you want from him. Does have 10 home runs on the season. And then our best player by a landslide is Mr. Nolan Jones, has 15 home runs, which is best on the team, has 56 RBIs, which is best on the team, has a 309 average, which is best on the team, has a 385 OBP, which is best on the team, has a 524 slugging, which is best on the team, has a 909 OPS, which is best on the team, has 40 walks, best on the team, has 29 doubles, which is best on the team. So he's basically the best on the team at everything. The only guy that's even remotely close is Charlie Blackmon, but he has way more games played because Charlie Blackmon is only DHing, where Nolan Jones needs days off from playing in the field. But yeah, basically Nolan Jones absolutely raking it in this season, doing very well. Was above a 400 OBP earlier. He's on a bit of a cold streak right now, but still playing out of his mind and officially up to a 90 overall. If you're curious about some some of our younger guys. Chase Dolander at AAA has a 3.09 ERA, having a solid season. Quinn Priester is also continuing to improve, +4, and the hits over 9 is great to see. He currently is boasting a 2.77 ERA at AAA, so playing even a little bit better, I would say. A guy that we signed at the very beginning of last episode was Satchel Page. He's a 25-year-old right-handed starting pitcher, has C potential, and he's up to a 71 overall, and he's doing quite well at AAA, a 2.9 ERA. So he's a guy that could probably come up to the majors and start right now. And we might consider it with how bad Dakota Hudson has been at a 6.41 ERA. Freeland has a 4.4, which is pretty average. Marquez has a 5.16. Cal Quantrill has a 3.54, which is actually pretty respectable when you have to play at Coors Field. And then Peter Lambert's been our other starter, a 5.23 for him. It might be time to swap him and Satchel Page. That's exactly what we're going to do. Satchel Page is going to make his debut in this episode. I've brought him up to the majors, and being that Dakota Hudson actually has the worst ERA of our 5 starters, and he has the most options left for minor leagues, we're going to send him down to AAA. Michael Toglia and Hunter Goodman are still not playing very well. Michael Toglia is improving, but I'd love it if he was playing better at AAA. He does have the 279 average. He's just on a bit of a cold streak right now, so maybe it's nothing. They're both cold, and Hunter Goodman and Michael Toglia each have 84 potential and could easily be pretty good first basemen, although with Barry Cohen coming in, I don't know how much we need them anymore. Hunter Goodman, even at AA, is kind of struggling, only batting 250. Grant Levine, however, at AA is kind of killing it, batting a 318 on the season. Ariel Amador is batting 300 at AAA right now, been playing very well. We called him up. He started the season at AA, and he's been playing at AAA for quite some time now and has been doing quite well. And look at all these attribute boosts for him: +8 contact against righties, +7 power against lefties, just continuing to improve. Yanquiel Fernandez is a guy we might need to have a conversation about. He might need to be at the majors right now. He is raking in AA, 314 average, 395 OBP, 19 home runs at the AA level. He is essentially the Nolan Jones of this team right now. He's leading in basically everything, and I think at the very least he needs to come up to the AAA level and see if he can continue this level of play there. And then at that point, I think that he probably gets called up to be like the everyday left fielder for this Rockies roster. Right now, we're going to send him to AAA. I don't want to bring him all the way up to the MLB yet, and we're going to send Jimmy Herron back down to AA to make that work. And then the last couple prospects that haven't really been playing great are Zach Veen and Jordan Beck. Zach Veen had been at AAA for the start of the season, and then I had to bring him back down because he was playing so poorly, and he's just continued to play kind of poorly. He is improving still, so that's good to see. Jordan Beck is improving as well, playing a little better than Zach Veen, all things considered, and his power versus lefties has gone up by 8, so he's actually improving really well at the moment. He's just not playing quite as well as I would expect of him at AA. So we're going to change the lineup. Scott Schreiber is now going to be the first baseman every day instead of Eloise Montero, who has been really bad, and Schreiber has been really good every time he's replaced him. Schreiber is also technically slightly higher in overall. Satchel Page's first start will be this one on Wednesday the 7th against the Mets, so that will probably be the first game we play in today's episode. So let's get into it. Let's simulate through this series against the Padres, and then we'll get into Satchel Page's debut. So in the first game of the series against the Mets, it is Daniel Bard in a bases loaded situation, top 8th, 2 outs. Let's enter it. So this is not the Satchel Page debut, but instead in game 1, it is bases loaded for the Mets, down 2-4 against the Rockies. Daniel Bard is on the mound. He's thrown 10 pitches and just trying to get out of here with the lead intact. Alvarez has been battling. Can Bard get out of the inning? He can. Strikes him out. And that'll put him down. We'll head to the bottom part of the 8th. And now here in the bottom of the 8th, we advance to another situation. Brenton Doyle is the batter, and he's got 2 runners on with 2 outs in the inning. Could give Justin Lawrence a little bit more of a lead before he has to come in to close. Doyle finds himself in a hole, 0-2 count. A wild pitch allows both runners to advance. Sorry that I missed it actually happening, but Here we are. Brenton Doyle now has runners in scoring position, second and third, with 2 strikes. Fouls that one off. Full count for Brenton Doyle. The pitch from Austin Adams, swung on and missed by Doyle. I was expecting a heater. I got a slider. I was way early on the swing. And we'll head to the 9th, see if Justin Lawrence can put this one away. And indeed he does. He does allow 1 run. McNeil hit an RBI double, it says in the top left. But that is game over. I thought it was going to give me the option to play that. Instead, it just immediately cut to the end of the game, which was a little unfortunate. I would have preferred to have played that part of the 9th inning, but it is what it is. A win for the Rockies, beating the Mets 4-3 in game number 1. And now we will head to game number 2, where we'll get to see Satchel Page in his Rockies debut. Colorado baseball at Coors Field one more time this season. Actually, it'll be a few more times, obviously, before the season's over. But it is the debut of a new pitcher for the Rockies, signed last episode, Satchel Page, who has improved to his 71 overall. He'll get to make his debut today in a rainy game. The man of the hour, Satchel Page. He throws a 4-seamer, a slider, a curveball, and a changeup. Was absolutely killing it at AAA, so we decided to give him a chance because Dakota Hudson had been struggling big time at the MLB level. So why not give the new guy a shot? Only 25 years old, still has some time to improve, and he'll face Jeff McNeil as the first batter of his career. This one has popped up foul. I don't think Nolan Jones is going to get there, and he won't. And the first batter he faces singles one up the middle, and 1 runner on for Satchel Page. Hopefully that is not a sign of things to come for Mr. Page, because now he faces Joey Wendell, and he's got an 0-2 pitch, ball inside. Gotta be terrifying to make your debut as a pitcher for the Rockies in Coors Field. I imagine pitchers dread playing for the Rockies. That one is fouled off. There's a grounder to second. We'll try to turn 2. This is kind of a tough one to do so. We get the runner at second, but not the one at first. A slow little grounder to Sterling Thompson, though, is the first out in the career of Satchel Page. This is Brandon Nimmo at the plate. And wow, he hammered that one, but it's foul. Satchel does throw a mid to high 90s fastball, so it's got some heat behind it. Everyone is making contact on his pitches, though. He's not able to get any strikeouts. Everything's being fouled off. Already 13 pitches deep. There's another one to Nimmo, and that is cracked to right field. And that's going to be another base runner. Not a great start for Satchel Page. He's giving up a lot of contact right now, which is not what you want. That is a ball. And a grounder to first. Seibel onto Tovar, back to Seibel, and it is over. The inning, that is. Double play ball ends the inning, and a decent start for Satchel Page. Charlie Blackmon will lead us off here for the Colorado Rockies. As always, his final season as the leadoff hitter. I pretty much refuse to replace him just out of sheer nostalgia. Kodai Senga is the starting pitcher for today for the Mets. Charlie kind of got one to hit and just gets a slow roller to second. A diving play gets him out at first. What a play there by the second baseman. That is out number 1 for the Rockies. Brendan Rodgers brought up to the plate. Not having the best of seasons so far, but definitely not the worst of seasons either. Was just hoping for some steps forward for him, but haven't really seen that. It's been more of lateral steps for Brendan Rodgers. Almost got traded at the deadline, decided to keep him for one more season, and we'll see how things go. This time he's going to ground softly to third, and that is out number 2. And then Nolan Jones, our only all-star on this Rockies roster. And he might only have been an all-star because we are required to have an all-star. If you didn't know that, every single team in the MLB ends up with an all-star. It is a rule. Nolan Jones probably would have gotten it anyway. He was having an incredible season up to that point. Has been a little cold since then. Now he pops one up to center on a very high fastball, and it's going to be an easy 3-up, 3-down for the Mets. And we'll get to see more of Satchel Page. Francisco Alvarez is the batter to face Page to start the second. Satchel not quite a strikeout guy, so you'd be surprised to see those. He has low K per 9 and low hit per 9, but he has good walk per 9, so he doesn't give up a lot of walks. So this is his bread and butter right here. He gets grounders, and we get force outs at first. But you're not going to see a lot of strikeouts from Satchel, something that he'll definitely want to work on. He's got good pitches, and he's got a relatively fast fastball. So you'd think that he could learn to be a strikeout pitcher. He does have really high stamina, but part of the issue with being a guy who kind of pitches to contact is that you end up running up your pitch count. So that high stamina, while extremely helpful, is not going to get him super far into games unless he can learn to get people out early, which this at bat has been going on forever. Trayce Thompson will not swing at the outside slider. So lacking that strikeout stuff is definitely going to hurt his ability to go deep into games. And he gets Trayce Thompson to pop this one to deep right field, nearly to the wall. Warning track power. Nolan Jones is there, though, and that is the second out of the inning. See, that's what's scary, is that he allows contact, so you know, some of them are going to get hit pretty far, like that one. Just lucky that it died in right field. Page's control also isn't the best. It's low 50s, so he might struggle to place pitches at times. But in all honesty, it can't be a whole lot worse than what Dakota Hudson was doing. As that is a strikeout for Satchel Page. And that'll end the top of the second. Good work from Page so far, yet to allow a run. Elias Diaz will lead off the bottom part of the second inning here against the New York Mets. No runs scored for either team. The 1-0 pitch is kind of blooped into shallow left center, and a play is made. So there's the first out of the inning. Ezequiel Tovar at the plate. He's been moved up the batting order, now batting 5th against righties, where he was near the bottom of the order previously. But he's been having an excellent season, so I thought he had earned the chance to move up. Tovar has some serious potential to be an absolute superstar on this Rockies team, as the Rockies seem to be really good at finding quality shortstops. But on this occasion, Tovar will pop out to center. I'm a big fan of Ezequiel Tovar. He's an excellent fielder. He looks like he's really starting to get a lot better with the bat. He doesn't have 90-plus potential like maybe you'd want, but he does have high 80s potential. So you can't be too upset about that. He's definitely going to be a good quality starter in the MLB for a long time to come, and hopefully that long time is with the Colorado Rockies. That's part of why I want Amador to move to second, is because Ezequiel Tovar is such a good fielder that there is no point in having Amador be just a backup shortstop. Might as well have him be the future second baseman, as Sterling Thompson bloops one into left field. And here's Scott Schreiber, the new everyday first baseman for the Rockies. Eleris Montero getting benched, so Schreiber could have an opportunity. Schreiber batting much better than Montero, 276 to Montero's, I want to say 214. Plus has a relatively good OBP, so if he can keep that up, he can continue to be the everyday first baseman for the rest of this season. I try not to swing at the first pitch, which is why I end up late on those ones that are like right down the middle. Speak of the devil, he got another one. 2 pitches to hit. He took the first one basically, or swung very late. The second one, he says, thank you very much, I'll take that one. Dead center for Scott Schreiber, taking over as the everyday first baseman. And if you're playing like this, you're going to keep the job. Home run Rockies, and they're on the board first. And after that at the plate is Brenton Doyle, who has 37 contact against righties. Really just such a bad hitter, which is such a shame because he's such an excellent fielder. He's so fast. If he can get on the bases, he's a threat to steal always. I just wish he was a little better with the bat. Like, this play's going to be relatively close at first because he's just that fast. But it's an out. The Rockies do land 2 runs, though, off of the Scott Schreiber home run. So Satchel Page on for a victory now, as he will throw the first pitch to DJ Stewart in there for a strike. Oh, and he hit DJ Stewart in the elbow, it looks like. He did. Yeah, takes a hit. Wow, stared Page down. I don't think that was on purpose, just a misplaced fastball. It was an 0-2 count. Why would you hit the batter at that point? So now it's Acuna at the plate, and he looks at a hanging slider. There is a shallow pop-up to right field. Pretty easy play for Nolan Jones, and that's the first out of the inning. Still 1 runner, though, on first with the hit by pitch, and now we're to the top of the order, the dangerous part of this Mets lineup. Let's see if Page can get out of this cleanly, and he's not going to on this occasion, giving up a hit up the middle, and that'll have runners on first and on second. Now he'll face Joey Wendell, and I think it's Pete Alonso that bats third. 2 strikes to him. I'm a bit scared of Satchel Page's slider because he keeps hanging it just over the middle. One of these batters is going to crush it. Let's see if he can get this one down in the zone. No. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Page going to go to the changeup, and he gets the strikeout. That was the first changeup of the at-bat, and it worked out great. Brandon Nimmo is actually the 3 batter. Alonso's the 4 batter. That's right. I'm not sure if Page is going to be able to make it much further than the 4th inning at this rate. He is throwing so many pitches, but he strikes out Brandon Nimmo. A perfect fastball in the upper inside corner, and that is 3 gone for the Mets. I've definitely been impressed with Satchel Page. I'm just really concerned about the fact that he can't really get through outs quickly. Bouchard at the plate against Senga. Fouls this one off. And a strikeout for Bouchard. That is a well-placed ball at the bottom of the zone. That is a high pop-up to right field. Right fielder did not have to move very far. And there's out number 2. Looks like Senga may be settling in after the rough 2nd inning, because those outs were very, very easy for him. As Rogers takes a swing at a cut fastball. 2 strikes against for Rogers, and that is strike number 3, swinging on the slider. A quick bottom part of the 3rd inning. This could very well be the end of Page's day here in this inning, as he's just thrown way too many pitches. His stamina is still about 50%. That last slider was called a ball number 3. That's brutal. His umpires had a very small strike zone this whole game. Now it's a full count. Satchel Page's pitch on the way and just high. And Alonso will walk to first. Now facing Francisco Alvarez, and he seems like he's starting to lose control of these pitches. He is struggling to place the fastball, and this ump is not calling anything high. 3-0 count. Trace Thompson on deck, and that is a 4-pitch walk for Satchel Page. Definitely going to do a bit of a mound visit here. His confidence is still quite high, but it might be time to pull him out, which is crazy because it's only been 3 innings. He's got high stamina, but like I said, he's just been taking a while to get out of these. And now 2 on with nobody out to Trace Thompson, and he cannot place a pitch right now. We'll go back to the fastball, and that one is looked at for strike number 3. Satchel Page finding his stuff again. And a pop-up for Tyrone Taylor. Rogers, the second baseman, is on for that one, and there's 2 gone in the inning for Satchel Page. So he's starting to clutch it up, bringing it back. It's a rough start to the inning, but he's finishing strong. And a swing and a miss on the curveball. Satchel Page gets out of the rough 4th inning, or at least the rough start to the 4th inning, and that'll likely be the end of his day as his stamina has gotten very low. Nolan Jones leads us off in the bottom of the 4th. Still 2-0 Rockies. I don't necessarily trust our bullpen keeping that Mets score at 0 though, so if Nolan could just hit like a solo shot here, that'd be cool. Swung on and missed by Nolan Jones. I like that slurve. It has such late movement. I like that pitch for Justin Lawrence a lot as well. So we fast forward a little bit here in the bottom of the 4th as Elias Diaz was out and Tovar got on to first with a single. Brings up Sterling Thompson with a chance to maybe get some more runs on the board for the Rockies. That is a good fastball. And a strikeout for Sterling Thompson ends the 4th inning. I will let Page face a batter until he allows a hit. The instant he allows a hit, or if he walks somebody, that is day over for him. He's got a 2-2 count here to Acuna. 3-2 count now. He's just losing it. These at-bats just take forever with Satchel Page. Another foul ball. This is his 89th pitch of the outing, and it's only inning number 5, and that's fouled again, so we're going to see at least a 90th. And we're going to a slider instead of a fastball, and that's fouled as well. This is absurd. This is definitely his last batter, I think, no matter what. He gets the strikeout, though. Out number 1. Thought it was a walk, but it's a strikeout, and that'll end Satchel Page's day. We'll bring out Jalen Beeks to be the reliever here. 4.13 ERA on the season. A pretty good day from Satchel Page, but just not quite what I was hoping for. With the high stamina, I was thinking maybe he could be an innings eater, but it seems like the innings kind of eat him because he just has to throw so many pitches to get people out. Did pitch a shutout through 4 1/3. but we'll see if that remains the same. He's currently not responsible for any runs, so it'll be 0 earned runs in the debut for Satchel Page, but a pretty short outing. Jalen Beeks immediately gives up a base hit. That is cracked right at Ezekiel Tovar. But the runner is safe at first, and that's 2 gone. It's Brandon Nimmo at the plate, and this is popped up to center field. Easy enough play for Brenton Doyle, and still no runs scored for the Mets. So now to lead off the 5th, Schreiber, who homered earlier, hit a double, and now we've got Brenton Doyle at the plate trying to bat him home. Maybe Schreiber needs to bat higher in the order. He's absolutely killing it. Doyle only batting 136 with runners in scoring position. That is horrendous. Maybe we can improve that average here, not with swings like that, though. Doyle able to bring it back full, but it honestly does not get a lot better with the 9 hitter, which is Sean Bouchard. And that is a strikeout for Brenton Doyle on what would have been ball 4. That is a good slider. And here is Sean Bouchard. He's actually 2 for 3 in the first game, at least, of this series. He hit a home run in game number 1. And he hit a home run here. It'd be a 2-run home run. Ooh, a swing and a miss on the fork ball. I'm assuming that's what FRK stands for. Only 66 pitches for Senga. Oh my God, he got one to crush. And it's a little bit my bad because I was super early, but man, his contact was just not there. And that is the 2nd out of the inning. They are wasting the leadoff double. Can Charlie Blackmon put away the run? No, he cannot. He's going to pop this one up, despite the good timing, right to the first baseman. And that'll end the inning. Oh, and we get a rain delay now here at Coors Field. So Jalen Beeks' day will probably be done. I'm going to warm up a fresh arm. Seems like this Mets roster is really bad against lefties based on what I can gather. So I kind of want it to be Lucas Gilbreth that comes in. Lucas Gilbreth, not at peak energy, but this Mets lineup is really bad against lefties from what I can tell. But the more lefties, the merrier, I say. We only have 2 of them in the bullpen. We need more lefties. And a grounder to Sterling Thompson for Pete Alonso will be the first out of the 6th. We fast forward as absolutely 0 offense has happened since the 2 runs were scored for the Rockies on the home run. 0-2 in the bottom of the 8th, and it's Brenton Doyle leading off the inning to try to get some more runs on the board for the Rockies. And that is popped way up to center. Brenton Doyle just cannot catch a break, man. The swing timing is good. I think it's just his plate vision is so horrible. His contact rating is so horrible. Part of me wants to send him down to AAA for a season maybe next year and just let him grind out getting better at hitting. I don't know. It's just painful up here at the MLB level. He's just such a good fielder, but at what point can you continue to justify it if his bat is just that bad? And speaking of bad bats, here's Sean Bouchard. No, he's going to strike out on the slider. That is a good slider that goes way out of the zone. And that is out number 2. Charlie Blackmon is 0 for 3. Most people haven't gotten a hit, really. It has been a struggle offensively for both teams. We just happen to be the one team that got the home run. It's Charlie Blackmon. Oh, I thought he was going to crush that slider. And that is a strikeout for Charlie Blackmon. I just swung at a pass ball. It is what it is. We head to the 9th. Hopefully Justin Lawrence can put it away and the Rockies can catch a dub. Here we go. I talked about his slurve earlier. He has a really good slurve, although that one was terribly placed. That is a grounder to Sterling Thompson, and there's the first out of the top of the 9th. 1 down, 2 to go to get out of the inning. To get out of the game, to get out of the ballpark. Tyrone Taylor is the batter, and that is such a nasty pitch right on the corner. And we're going to go back to it, see if he'll swing out of the zone. Not even close. We're going to go back to it again this time, but see if he can get it to the inside corner. Man, that is a perfect pitch. Oh, and a base hit this time for Tyrone Taylor, as we left a slurve hanging up in the zone, and that is a double. 1 out and a runner in scoring position. DJ Stewart at the plate. Oh my God, a blown save for Justin Lawrence. He left a slurve hanging. He's done it a couple times, just that at bat. And it's a home run. Tie ball game here in Colorado. Justin Lawrence hangs a slurve and he blows the save, man. That's part of the bummer with using actual attributes, is that I just have no control really over where the pitch goes. I can tell the game where I want it to go, but then it's up to the player's ratings to actually put it there. And he hung the slurve a couple of times during the at-bat, but that one got crushed. We'll leave him in the game, force him to clean up his mess. He gets a strike on Acuna, and he gets a strikeout on this batter, but a little too late there, Justin. And now he's at the top of the order, so this is a scary part of the lineup, but at least he has 2 gone. And this is going to be a little bloop single into center for Jeff McNeil. And that's going to end Justin Lawrence's day. He comes in, blows a save, can only get 2 outs. Here comes Tyler Kinley. 5.06 ERA. Man, our bullpen is horrendous. There's a pinch runner at first that has pretty good speed, so we might have to be on the lookout for a steal. And that is going to pop out almost directly to Brenton Doyle. That'll end the inning finally, but it's a blown save for Justin Lawrence. And now if the Rockies want to win, they'll have to do it in walk-off fashion. Austin Adams has entered the game for the Mets, and he'll face off against the best part of this Rockies lineup. Brendan Rodgers will lead us off, and then it's Nolan Jones. If either of them can go yard, it's GG's. Well, it's an 0-2 count for Brendan Rodgers, so not a great start. And he swings and misses on the slider way early on it, and that's out number 1. Nolan Jones has not shown up today. He's 0 for 3. Could be 1 for 4 with an absolutely massive home run here to walk it off. Oh, and he got one to hit, but he hit it straight at the second baseman on a 1-hop. And that's out number 2. Man, that was the one. Should have been crushed. Instead, we're getting crushed. Elias Diaz, the last hope for a walk-off homer. And he's got a little bloop into right, but it's not going to get down. And we head to extras after the blown save and no runs scored in the bottom of the 9th. Tyler Kinley managed to not allow a run in the top part of the 10th. And now there's a runner on first and third for Colorado here in the bottom of the 10th. Pretty much anything in play would score the run from third. The infield is playing in. Sterling Thompson has not been good this year with runners in scoring position, but maybe this is his time to shine. His time to show that he's a big boy and he can play in the big boy league. Oh, I was late. So now it is 3 balls and 1 strike, and the hottest man on the Rockies, Schreiber, is on deck. And it's ball number 4, bases loaded. And here comes Schreiber. Scott Schreiber, he has doubled and homered today, is responsible for the only 2 Rockies runs. Can he be responsible for the game-winning run? Scott Schreiber. This is popped. And is it going to be deep enough to score the run? It doesn't matter because it's through, and that is GG's. Rockies win. A walk-off from Scott Schreiber, a diving attempt from the right fielder, but it was just out of reach, and the Rockies walk it off. Scott Schreiber, the new everyday first baseman, responsible for all 3 of the Rockies' runs, went 3 for 4 on the day, absolutely deserves player of the game. I hope he gets it. Tyler Kinley gets credit with the win, and Satchel Page got a no decision. He does indeed get player of the game. A single, a double, and a home run. He was only a triple away from the cycle. Tyler Kinley, the winning pitcher. Austin Adams, the losing pitcher. If we take a look at the box score, take a peek at how the Mets did. Not a lot of hits unless your name is Jeff McNeil, who was 4 for 5. And then for the Rockies, the top 4 unable to get a hit, although Elias Diaz did manage to score one of the runs. Ezekiel Tovar with 2 hits, Sterling Thompson with 1, and Schreiber with 3. So Tovar, Thompson, Schreiber were the only guys who could get hits. Kind of a bizarre sight to see, the Rockies getting 2 wins in a row. And now there's a situation in the 3rd game against the Mets in the series. I'm going to enter. Let's see if we can sweep the Mets at home. Brenton Doyle is at the plate. He's got a runner on second. A home run would win the game. Well, I mean, it would take the lead. It wouldn't win the game right now. A single would tie it, depending on if we could get our man on second home. Doyle pops this one a 1/4 mile into the air, And that's going to be the final out of the inning, and I would say probably the end of the game. We're unable to sweep the Mets as they take the final game in the series, but we do win 2-1, which is something that's a bit of a rarity for us, and it's probably a little embarrassing for the Mets to lose to what is probably the worst team in the MLB. Let's simulate a bit further before we end the episode. No way. Yanquiel Fernandez sustained an injury. He dislocated his ankle, and it appears he will be out for over 6 months. You know what's funny is I was about to say the whole reason I wanted to simulate a bit before we end the episode is to see how he was doing at AAA, and he immediately gets hurt. That is such a brutal injury. He was killing it this year. I was about ready to call him up to the majors, and he was almost definitely going to be a part of the September call-ups where we can call up 2 players, and he was going to be the everyday left fielder for the remainder of the season starting in probably September. That was at least my plan, depending on how well his AAA was going. Well, it's going pretty bad because now he's on the 60-day IL, and he is out for the rest of the season. That is such a brutal injury, man, because look at how quickly he was improving. +5 to contact against righties, +9 against lefties, +7 power against lefties. I mean, my man was killing it. In the few games he got to play at AAA, he was batting a .259 with a .412 on base percentage. .412. That opens up a roster spot again at AAA, and I don't really want to give it to Jordan Beck or Zach Veen because neither of them are playing very well. I'm going to give the spot to Jordan Beck. He's going to be allowed to move to AAA, and we'll see how he does there. He hasn't been awful at AA, but definitely hasn't been great. He is improving rather quickly, though, and looks like he is an absolute lefty masher at this point. +9 on his power against lefties. That also means that Yorvis Torrealba, instead of being at single A, will be promoted to AA. Let's see if Jordan Beck at AAA can mash like Fernandez was doing. Anyway, let's sim through the rest of the series against Atlanta. We take 1 game but drop 2, and then we've got a series here against the Diamondbacks, and it's another one of these situations. Might as well hop in. Maybe just play some situations as they come up to finish out the rest of this month. Nolan Jones, top 9. Oh my God, how do you not crush that? Grounder up the middle. I'm going to send him to third. Is this stupid? I think he's going to get thrown out at third. Yep. To answer my own question, it was stupid. My bad. You got to kind of take everything I do with a grain of salt because the team is terrible. So I'm just trying to, you know, make things a little more interesting. It's not like that runner at third and winning this game would have helped our causes at getting into the playoffs. We already have over 80 losses. So at this point, we're kind of just playing for fun. Grounder to the right side. Should I send Nolan Jones to third? No, I won't. But that hit probably would have scored Charlie Blackmon from second. I mean, maybe. Who knows? Either way, it'd be bases loaded for Elias Diaz if I hadn't done that. So just runners on first and second now for the big catcher. No balls, 2 strikes for Diaz. A strikeout here would really suck, and that's exactly what we're gonna get. A slider, a swing and a miss, and 2 gone in the inning. So it's the final out, and the guy at the plate is Sean Bouchard, who has maybe been our worst batter this entire season. Does he show up clutch here? His clutch rating is only 43, which I believe replaces his contact rating, if I recall, when there's runners in scoring position. So he's not exactly known for his clutch factor, and now he swings and misses on a really good fastball. I feel like I have to swing at that. There's a chance it's called a ball, but, and it's right on the corner. And it's another one on the corner. Bouchard is not happy. It's a pop up to first, and that is the end of the game. We lose to the Diamondbacks. I'll take a little blame for the fact that I got Charlie Blackmon out, because we'd still have 1 more out to go if I didn't, but it is what it is. I'm not too upset about it. Zach Gallen's the player of the game, went 7 innings, allowing 2 earned runs and 6 strikeouts. Kyle Freeland gets yet another loss. No way. We send Jordan Beck up to AAA to replace Yanquiel Fernandez, who dislocated his ankle and will be out for 6 months. And Jordan Beck damages his knee cartilage and will be out for 1 to 2 months, which is a season-ending injury at this point in the year. The left field position at AAA is cursed. It is just a cursed position. So that's 60-day IL for Jordan Beck, and now we're without a left fielder at AAA again. And the game has managed to take out 2 of my top outfield prospects for the remainder of the season. I could bring up Zach Veen, but he is just starting to play well at AA, and he's turning around the attribute losses that he got before. So I think I want to leave him at AA and bring somebody else up to AAA. Well, here's a Rockies legend, Raimel Tapia. He was with the Rockies for a really long time, was a pretty good player. He's got decent discipline. He is starting to regress, but that's mostly because he hasn't been on a team. He's not a great fielder, but I think that he could finish out our season at AAA. Why not bring back Raimel Tapia? So I tried to give him 1 year, 1.6 mil. He did not like the length. I mean, that's fair enough. You are 30. I would want some longevity if I were you too. I'll go 1.7 mil over a year. So he wants a longer contract. I'd probably be willing to do 2 years because I think we could use him as a trade piece, and he's not going to get much worse. The fact that he's regressing is simply just because he hasn't been on a team, and he accepts a 2-year deal worth $3.5 million. Raimel Tapia, welcome back to the Rockies, a familiar face, and you will now be the starter at AAA for the remainder of the year, unless truly that position is cursed and you like tear something else. And if he gets injured in left field, we know the position is truly cursed. By the way, our AA team is actually pretty solid, 61 and 50, although they are starting to fall off a little bit ever since I've brought some other players up, but we're not that concerned about our AAA and AA affiliate teams being great, although the Isotopes are playing pretty well as well. It looks like both of our affiliate teams are going to be playoff teams, which is really good to see. Rockies, meanwhile, are 38 and 84, 40 games back. 38 and 84, by the way, is the worst in the MLB, and it's not even that close. The White Sox are like the second worst with 43 wins. The Rockies are really, really bad. They win back-to-back games against the Padres, though, here in the middle of August, and then they lose the final matchup, and we lose 2 out of 3 games to the Nationals. Satchel Page has had 3 games started now, has not had a win yet, but has had 1 loss, and has a 3.24 ERA in 16 2/3 innings pitched, so not too bad, and a 1.2 whip is pretty good as well. 5 walks, 12 strikeouts, 3 home runs, 6 earned runs total. It's been a pretty good performance so far for Satchel Page, and he is continuing to improve. But anyway, that is where I'm going to end this episode. We're nearly through the month of August, and in the next episode, we will get pretty much the whole way through the month of September, I would imagine. We'll figure out who we're calling up for the September call-ups. I genuinely have 0 idea. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. It's probably only 1 or 2 more episodes left for the regular season, and then we'll get into the off season and year number 2, which is where I think this rebuild really truly starts. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. I appreciate it as always. If you find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. It does help me out a lot, and we're on the road to 2,000. I'll see you guys in the next episode where we'll get closer and closer to finishing this first season.